Right now, when $100,000 come between two friends, plus what amount of money could United Airlines possibly pay to make this nightmare just go away? Let's get started, y'all. The chat starts now.
Hello and welcome to the chat. I'm Tony Fox. We have Janet, Henny, and Jalea. We are all on the panel today. And Chanel, otherwise known as Janet Jackson.
Whatever.
Janet's Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Yes. Her jacket.
Only if you're nasty, Tony.
Hey.
It's
Only
a
if you're getting divorced again.
Like, I don't know why you would. Yes.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Breaking
Where
news.
have you been?
Breaking news a couple days ago. She just had a baby.
Some people are
Yes.
busy. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Did you guys talk about this? Can we do this?
I know.
We're doing it now.
Old story, old
There's a
news.
big prenup. You probably want to read about it. I know that. So,
Janet, call me.
But there,
Right?
well, there are other things going on, and we're going to start with those. Many people still outraged over White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer comparing Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to Adolf Hitler.
We didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You know, you had someone as despicable as Hitler, who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons.
It was pointed out that Spicer's comment overlooked the millions of Jewish people who were killed in Nazi gas chambers. So, when asked to explain, Spicer said he meant to say that Hitler had not used chemical weapons in battlefield situations as Assad did last week. So, he later apologized.
They both did horrendous, heinous things to innocent people, and to make any kind of comparison is really regrettable and a mistake. I'm absolutely sorry, especially during a week like this, to make a comparison that is inappropriate and inexcusable.
Some Jewish groups like the Anne Frank Center for Mutual Respect, as well as some lawmakers, want Spicer fired. So, what do we think? It was, he made a mistake. He's apologized, Janet.
Yeah.
Should he be fired for such a thing? People make mistakes speaking all the time.
He should be fired immediately. And, when he said a week like this, it's Passover, which is one of the holiest weeks in the Jewish calendar. It was also the anniversary of the liberation of the Buchenwald concentration camp, which he called concentration camps Holocaust Centers, which is another one of those. I can't imagine looking for words to put together to talk about the Holocaust and coming up with Holocaust Center. It is disgusting as a Jewish American. This is a low in my life as an American citizen. I have to say, yesterday, it was the worst day I've ever had as an American citizen.
A low with what he said?
And it's not, if it wasn't an isolated incident. On the Holocaust Remembrance Day, they left Jews out of the statement of Holocaust Remembrance Day. And then Reince Priebus came out and said, no, we meant to do that because it affected people other than Jews. Well, I had relatives that were killed in gas chambers on trains where they were gassed to death. Every Jew that I know has had that. I had Jewish friends, very prominent attorneys, producers texting me and messaging me saying, at what point do we just, and then my friend said, serious question, at what point do we just pack up and leave the country? That is how, because you think, how can the Holocaust happen? How could people stay and get rounded up to the number of 6 million and not see warning signs and not leave Germany? And this is how it happens. People just keep excusing it and keep saying, no, he didn't mean it. And in that apology, he didn't say, it's not the comparison. It's almost like I insulted Assad by comparing him to Hitler. The problem is that he said he didn't gas his own people. He didn't gas Germans. And this is something that Jews have grown up and have heard in every country where there are Jews living outside of Israel, that Jews aren't really American. They are other. And Germans, that's how the Holocaust happened, that Germans felt that Jews were not truly German, and that's why it was okay. And in one of his corrections, the second correction, he said, well, he didn't gas his own people. Well, Jews were Germans, and they were killed by gas. And there isn't any, if this guy worked on ESPN, he would be fired.
Oh, yeah.
So he cannot speak for my government. It's not acceptable.
Now, but he is correct in saying that Hitler didn't use it on the battlefields. Well,
neither did Assad.
Assad
used it in Aleppo, in a town, on children. I mean, he is not correct. There's nothing correct about it. It is not historically correct. He went to my college, by the way, Sean Spicer. And it's humiliating to me every day that he just, liberal arts.
Do you think this, though, okay, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, because I get your passion. I know, and I do understand your passion. I truly do. Is it a question of he just is so inexperienced? I mean, Trump's administration is full of people. Ben Carson is the head of the housing urban development. Like he's a doctor. Is it a question of that this guy just is such a rookie and shouldn't be in this position? This particular position himself, because he's been battling with the press. He has said many things. And,
well, I don't care. I don't care why it is. He could be incompetent. He could be an anti-Semite. Either way, he has no business. There is no apology that makes it. And you know what? He called Sheldon Adelson. That's what he did to apologize. He called the largest donor, and said, "Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you." But he didn't just offend Sheldon Adelson. I mean, we reached out to viewers, and pretty much unanimously, it sounds like they agree that he has no business doing this job. One person weighed in on Facebook and said, I think Kuwana, Spicer is basically a car salesman who goes to work every day and manages to set a car on fire. I think we can agree with that.
That's a good analogy.
Bob said, Sean Spicer didn't let Trump down, he let history down.
Interesting.
And then Mark had this graphic, I think we put this up first, which is this one. I don't know how I feel about this one, Mark, but this one is time for Spicer to go out on his own. Here he's looking for space at the Holocaust Center. And that is, I think that's,
that's a tough one.
That is a tough one, and the graphic is
a tough one right there.
But Mark has a good point. Holocaust Center. I mean, why can't you say concentration camp?
Why is
that? That is revisionist.
I think all of this in a nutshell is, I mean, depending on who's saying it, it doesn't matter. The fact is, I mean, I won't say everyone, lots and lots of people have said it. Lots and lots of politicians have said it. I mean, everyone talked about Nazism or talked about Germany or talked about Hitler
I don't mind
in
the comparison,
demeaning way.
But don't make Hitler the good guy.
I do.
In the comparison.
And I'm not Jewish, so I can't understand. I can only sympathize from being a Jew on the other side. But I'm saying from the other side, just from the outside, I'm thinking we've talked about it before. We just should not have that in our vocabulary. There are over 1 million words in the English language, and there's many other ways to express yourself, and leave Nazi Germany, Hitler out of the conversation. Because as soon as you throw that on the table, conversation ends. There is no rational behavior that comes after that on either side.
And in his comparison, Hitler was the good guy. His comparison was Assad Hitler came out looking well in his analogy. So unless the analogy is, this is almost as bad as Hitler, who is the worst person in history. But he's
maybe Idi Amin would be,
I mean, there's,
Yes, that's true. When Hitler is the good guy, it's not a good
analogy.
No one wants to hear Hitler is the good guy. All right, well, somebody else that's apologizing today, the CEO of United Airlines. In an interview with GMA, Oscar Munoz said that he apologizes to the passenger and promised that nothing similar will happen on United Airlines ever again. He also said that the use of law enforcement will be looked at, and that this particular incident was a system failure. So what do we think about this? I mean, is this apology? I mean, do we think that any legal action is going to come of it? Janet? Because he's already lawyered
He's got
up.
a lawyer.
So that happened this morning.
Janet Johnson P. I'm actually flying United next month. I'm kind of scared, but
video everything.
You're not boycotting?
Right?
Wow. Everyone's boycotting right now. I mean, the stock yesterday was like, it plummeted $800 million, and now it's been like 200.
It came back up to like 200 until they look that there's hardly any other airlines to take. I mean,
but that's
what's
why he's apologizing, because initially their statement was blaming the victim. He fell down, lying about it when we have video. They, the next day, apparently threatened to handcuff a first-class passenger who wouldn't give up a seat, and they also had entered into an agreement, this isn't getting reported that much, with the feds, that they would stop overbooking flights and forcing people to give up their seats. So they've been on the radar for doing this, and this is obviously the tipping point. I think there's going to be a lawsuit on a couple of fronts, because the victim was also the subject of a reporter doing an expose for a Lexington, Kentucky newspaper where he lives. bringing up the fact that he had a criminal record, that the doctor had a criminal record.
Can you believe that they did that?
It's
though?
disgusting.
Like,
well,
why?
but it's public. That is public information.
It
I'm
is.
not saying it was right, because that shouldn't have anything to do with any of this.
That's my whole point.
But it's public information,
Right.
and it's about the guy. As long as they're not saying untruths, I don't see how they could be subject to, you know,
well,
any kind
I think
of libel
he'll probably try that, right? I mean, I think he'll probably try suing them. He has a great lawsuit against United, and they will settle. You know, there's not going to be any question about that. And you know, it would have been worth their time to give him $10,000, whatever the amount is.
I bet they're having some major regrets right now because
I hope they are.
The whole situation, from the way they were offering people the amount of money to bump their seat or to voluntarily give up their seats, if they would have bumped up the rate just a couple of more $100, all of this, we wouldn't be talking about it
but
right
did you
now.
see the CEO? Did you see Munez on? He was on like a GMA or something. He was on something. No, it was later today. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was on Fox. But anyway, it was on, and he was. He was a public relations nightmare. I mean, they were asking him question after question and saying, "Well, what do you think Dr. Dow should actually get for this?" And he said,
"A drink coupon,
an apology."
Ugh.
And you just went, that's all you expect to give is an apology, and that's his lawyer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If he says anything else, can't Dow's lawyer go and say, oh, even the CEO thinks you should
have? Then that's what they did.
Right.
Then that's what happened. Then he actually divulged too much information, I feel like. Maybe from an attorney's stance, you can say, I mean, I wish you had seen the interview, but it was actually really bad. Because he was saying that, I mean, yes, we were in the wrong, and yes,
we admitted liability.
We should have done, and I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's just shot himself in the foot. This is awful.
He talked to a lawyer before. That's the thing. I mean, it's not like they just came up to him with a microphone and said, what do you think? He would have been prepared with that answer, and it would have been a scripted answer, something to the effect of, our lawyers will, I'm certainly be looking at the numbers and what his actual damages are, and I'll refer that to my legal department. I mean, it would not be hard to come up with a good answer for that, but I think, he is, you know, liability is not going to be a question. The question is going to be how much the damages are. They are clearly liable.
Let me ask you this question,
or the Chicago police.
You know, an airline can take you off a plane. They can overbook. You buy the ticket, there's the fine print. Now, this technically was not an overbooked flight. It were 4 employees who needed to get to a flight. But whatever, they could still take you off a plane. They could say, we don't like how you're dressed. We don't like how you talk to us.
Well, those are different things. So that's for cause. So that's saying, like the leggings. United had the leggings incident, and they didn't think that the leggings reflected well on United Airlines, which is another crazy thing. But, you know, I think that when you have cause, absolutely. But if you have a contract and he was apparently supposedly randomly picked as the person forced to volunteer, it's not volunteering, by the way, at that point.
No.
I think that's a different situation, and that contract is not.
If it's when you buy it, if it's in the fine print, isn't that part of the contract?
No, it is not a binding, that you can sue. That is never, you know, when you like valet your car and they're like, look at the fine print, you can't sue us. No, that's nonsense. You can always sue. And he will.
Okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm sure it's not going away anytime soon. And you know what? The company representatives, they can apologize all they want to, but this is not going away anytime soon, especially from social media. Have you guys noticed the memes that people are putting out there? They are some seriously funny and creative ones out there. We've actually put some together on our Facebook page for you to go and check out, and we hope you enjoy those. But I laughed so hard earlier today, I actually had to reapply my makeup. I did. It was so funny. Yeah, look at that. I mean,
they're great.
So funny, so funny. All right, something else that's not so funny. A man recently hit a $100,000 jackpot on a slot machine at a casino in Fort Lauderdale. But guess what? He didn't get to keep 1 red cent. Here's why. He called over his female friend to push the button for good luck. You know, we all do that sometimes. But the casino gave her the money. Apparently, there's some kind of rule that casinos have that whoever pulls the lever or pushes that button on the slot machine, they are technically the ones who's gambling. Okay, this is a story where to me, it's wrong on so many levels, and I understand everybody have their rules, their laws, but when it comes to the friendship, we're friends. You know good and darn well, I called you over here for good luck and say, hey, baby, come on over here and hit this button.
That costs you something. Good luck, it's not free.
I understand, but I deserve
$50,000. And she tried.
Absolutely not.
I'm with her. I have to say, but it's a contract, right? So
I'll buy you a crystal combo and I'll let you supersize if you're lucky.
I'm on her side. There's video, and that's what one of the reasons they have video is to show what the transaction is. The act of pressing the button is the actual way.
But it's his money.
Well, you know, we had talked about this off air because Tony and I, you know, we're going into it because, you know, you feel strongly he's in the right and she's in the wrong. You know, and you said, well, what if, you know, I lent you money to make a bet? You wouldn't have made the bet without the money.
Yeah.
But here's the analogy breaks down, you know, the actual finalization of the transaction, you know, the actual placing of the bet. You know, it's not like the old days where you'd go up to the, you know, horse betting window and give them your $10 bill and your bet was placed. It's an actual machine.
Right.
The pressing the button is the transaction. So that's when the contract is completed. Doesn't matter if the money came from Grandma Nellie, if you found a $10 bill on the floor. If you found money on the floor, you wouldn't go back and find out who dropped the money.
Maybe.
You know.
Okay, so legally, that may be correct. But let's talk morally. At this table, let's say we all push the button for our friend. Let's just raise hands. Who will give up all the winnings to our friend?
I've done it.
Oh my God!
See?
I should have known. There is no life experience you haven't had.
Mine wasn't the slot machine. Mine was the roulette table. So roulette, actually, there was a friend of mine, and it was in the Bahamas, in Atlantis, and he said, you know, hey, do you want to bet on some numbers? And I said, yeah. I said, I'll put it on 00. So I put his money on 00. I didn't know how much it was because I mean I don't play that game so much. Yeah, just chips. So I just put it on there, and it hit. It hit big.
Ooh,
big.
Because
I had put his chips on, and he had made it was $10,000 on 00.
That's big.
And so I was so busy. Yay! Oh my God, this is great. This is awesome. And he's like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like, well, it's your money. And he's like, no, it's yours. It's yours. Take it. You got it.
He let you keep it?
So I left it there because I was too busy in my little frenzy of saying how great and happy I was. It hit again when they did it again on the 00s again.
So is that 20,000?
So then it was like triple the money, I guess is what it was. And so, so it was an amazing weekend. So he gave the money to me.
And who is this friend and can I go gambling with him?
I said no.
Marion.
I said no, absolutely not. And that, I mean, sure enough, it worked out that he gave it to me.
He didn't give you
anything?
anything?
But the thing was, I said, here you go. This is your
did he buy
money.
you
This
a Louis
is not
Vuitton
my
purse
money.
at least?
No, but
she got the money.
I got the money.
Oh, you did keep the money?
Real quick question on that. Real quick question. In roulette, though, the dealer is the one that does the ball.
So the placing the chips is the finalization.
So technically, she could have said it's all my money, and then legally it is her money.
And that's what he's also.
He gave you $30,000.
It was.
Girl,
He said it was fine.
She
so I was like, okay. So we had a fun weekend.
I bet you did.
What's his number, by the way? And where can we?
Oh my God.
We're still friends.
I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks. All right.
You got to do the right thing, though.
Yeah.
Coming up after the break, a battle over the courtroom. We're going to chat about the new lawsuit against Governor Rick Scott. That is coming up.